I've been looking at Donald Trump's Twitter feed, and it's not very exciting. There's no talk about losers and dopes and idiots. He's not insulting anybody. Oh, a little jab at the New York Times, but that was about it. What's happened to this guy? I think we're seeing a different Donald Trump. Now, some of his advisors and family members have been telling him for weeks that he needs to be more presidential, to tone it down, to stop with all the insults. And Trump, while acknowledging that, as he did in an interview with me some weeks ago, has been resistant. But now I think we're seeing the pivot. Why? Well, for one thing, he had a couple of bad weeks. He lost Wisconsin. And I think Trump senses politically and also as a showman that he needs another act, that he needs to tone it down and reassure people. He's got those high negatives in the polls, that he is somebody who they could envision sitting in the Oval Office. And look at this New York Post headline, Truce, Donald Trump, Megyn Kelly. In the Hell Freezes Over department, Megyn Kelly went over to Trump Tower for a meeting, and they both said nice things about each other. She had asked for the meeting. She wants to invite him to do a sit-down interview with him. She said he'd been very gracious. Trump said it was great of her to go through with this, and they had a very nice meeting. Okay, if Donald Trump can mend fences with Megyn Kelly and other critics, then we may be seeing Donald Trump 2.0 or 3.0. I don't know. I've lost count. And in an interview with my Fox News colleague Kirsten Powers for USA Today, Trump had nice things to say about Marco Rubio and John Kasich and Scott Walker. Usually he spends a lot of time insulting Rubio and Walker when he was running against them. So I think there is a method here. And obviously, Trump is who he is, and he can't completely reinvent himself, nor should he want to, because it's his fire, his aggressiveness, his street fighting persona, taking on the establishment, political establishment, the media establishment, the GOP delegate selection rules, which he views as unfair. That's what's gotten him this far. Even though he's favored in New York and the following week in Pennsylvania, he still has to get to that 1237. But there was a period of time where I was starting to wonder whether Donald Trump was suffering from too many self-inflicted wounds. And now I think we see an effort. And we also see it in the way in which he's expanding his team and bringing in veteran GOP strategists and operatives, rounding out the rather small, tight group that he had relied on for most of the primaries. I think all of that, what you're seeing is the seasoning and maturing of a candidate. Now, it may not work. It may not affect his negatives. He may not get the nomination, or he may go into the fall campaign with those very high negatives. But we're seeing a different Donald Trump here. And the question now is, does he have the discipline to keep it up?